Hello and welcome back to Beboss Kitchen, and I'd like to welcome those of you who are new. This is early Sunday morning. I'm going to make some broccoli cheese soup for our lunch today before I go to church. So I'm going to get started by giving you the list of ingredients that it takes to make this soup. You will need onion, butter, flour, whole milk, half and half, broccoli crowns, nutmeg, grated cheese, salt, pepper, and chicken broth. I'm going to be doubling my recipe since I'm feeding a crowd or larger than just a regular size family. So I'm going to get started first by melting some butter in my large pot here. So let me get that going. Okay, it will take, since I'm doubling this recipe, it's going to take 2 sticks of butter. I will post this recipe below in the description box for you. But like I said, I'm doubling the recipe because I'm going to be feeding my, my grandchildren and my son and his wife. And I'm making this soup because my son, Matthew, had to have his 4 wisdom teeth taken out the day before yesterday, as well as another tooth that he had had a root canal done on earlier this year, which continued to hurt him, and so he had it removed. And it was kind of rough for him. They had to go down into the bone of the jaw. So I'm going to be pureeing my soup so that he doesn't have any trouble eating this. I have processed my onions in the food processor. I've already got those chopped. And that will be the next thing. I will add the onions to this and saute them. Okay, while my onions are sauteing for a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and prepare the broccoli crowns to go in to be cooked. You want to just cut them into florets. And it really wouldn't matter the way that I'm going to do it because I'll be processing this through the blender to puree it. So I'll just go ahead and cut mine up kind of small. Okay, and now I'm just going to sprinkle the flour over the top of the onions that I'm cooking. And just give that a stir and cook it for about a minute. Okay, now to this, I'm going to add my half and half. Oh dear, I'm making a mess with that. Now I'm going to add a little bit of nutmeg. And I'll start adding my broccoli. I've increased the heat just to bring the temperature up. And then I will reduce the heat and let it simmer for about 20 or 30 minutes until the broccoli is tender. And then I will proceed with completing the soup. In the meantime, while this is cooking, I will grate the rest of my cheese and have it ready to go in and get ready to finish it. So we'll be back. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and black pepper to this. You want to go kind of easy on the salt because your cheese is salty, so you can adjust it accordingly. You may think I'm adding a lot, but you got to remember I'm going to be adding more milk and chicken broth to this. And you have to stir it occasionally because of the fact that it has the roux in there. it wants to sort of stick to the bottom some if you don't stir it every now and then. I was supposed to add the milk along with the half and half. It probably wouldn't stick as easily if you do that, but my bad, I overlooked that. Okay, I think my broccoli is tender enough that I can add my cheese and let it start melting. Okay, I'm going to start pureeing this in my blender. Okay, I'll stop there and I will puree this. One thing you want to make sure about is that you have your lid on tight when you puree this. I made the sad mistake one time. I can't remember now what it was I was making, but I had to puree it in my blender. I didn't have my lid on tight, and boy, it went everywhere. So don't make that mistake. Make sure you kind of hold your lid. Okay, I'm going to pour this into a separate pot until I can get all of it pureed. You don't want to overfill your blender pitcher. You want to give room for this to move around. Ooh, that's hot. I think I can pour the rest of that in. Okay, that's the last of it, and so I'm going to transfer this back to my bigger pot because of traveling. I don't want it sloshing out in my car, so let me get my pot and I'll be right back. This is going to be so good. I made yeast rolls. My daughter-in-law asked me. I had not made any in a while, and they've been moaning and groaning wanting yeast rolls, so she asked me would I mind making some, so I made yeast rolls to go with our soup. And I have baked a maple brown sugar pound cake, which I've done a video on that I'll be posting. And I also made ginger molasses cookies, which I also did a video on, and we'll post that as well. So we should have a good lunch, a very much of a fall lunch. And I just hope that my son Matthew can eat this without any problem. I don't want to waste any of this. I want all of it. So my spatula is working better than the spoon deal. I think that this will work fine for Matthew to eat. And I don't think I really need to thin it down with the chicken broth. I will take it with me, and I may decide, let me try some of this and see how it tastes. Okay, I'm going to ladle up a little bit of this. I'm not going to do a lot, just enough for a taste test, because I am about to leave to go to church. Okay, this is the taste test for my broccoli cheese soup. So here is to you. That's good. I can't tell if it needs just a smidgen more of salt. I think it may. So I will add just a little bit more salt to it. You have to season it to taste, because of course your milk and your half and half dilute it down, the seasoning, but the cheese has salt in it, and you don't want to be too salty. So I'm going to add just a little bit more salt to this. Just, you know, season it to your own personal taste. That concludes this video, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you have, give me a thumbs up, like it, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and don't forget to click on the notification bell and leave me a comment. Until the next time, this is B-Boss saying may the Lord bless and keep you and your family safe. And until we see each other again, I hope you have a really great day. But I'll see you soon. I'll be making another video before long. See ya. Bye.